of where I'm at, and so so they're not disappointed in who I am, to make sure my siblings know what it's like and make sure they don't go down the wrong paths that I had gone through. So.
Thank you. Very good.
So, the responsibility of being a student is already hard as it is, but when you are a single parent, you take on double the responsibility, but it's not an excuse to not pursue your dream and reach for your goal. I'm very proud to be where I am at today, and my motivation are my kids, because being in a broken home with a single mother, it made me strive for more, and I refuse to fail, and I will keep striving until I reach that goal, and to show that my kids that it is possible, regardless of your skin color, your race, or whatever it may be, that it is possible and that you can do it.
Thank you, Alexis.
I believe that your responsibilities are a reflection of your hard work. So the more that you do, of course, you're going to be getting more responsibilities. We're all students. We all work, we go to school, and then we have student government. Some of us have like clubs and all these other things going on. And people always ask, how do you do it? How do you get everything done? But when you love what you do, it's not hard. Like, I love being around these girls literally, I think, 24/7. And it's just a blessing. Like, once you find what you love, you rock at it. And so, if you notice that you're getting more responsibilities and you're feeling overwhelmed, remember that it's because you're working harder. The more that you do in your life, you're going to get more responsibilities. But I think that's just, it's a reflection of your success. If you're succeeding more, you're going to get more responsibilities. And so the more that you have on your plate, I think it means, the stronger of a person you are.
Thank you. This is Debbie.
Responsibilities. When you're in college, there's many responsibilities that you have, but like she said, it's all going to be worth it. There's times when I get home so late and I feel so bad because my mom, she's like, I miss you, come home already, where are you? And I'm like, sorry, Mom, I'm studying, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's going to be worth it one day, but that's what it comes with. And like she said, when you have a lot of things to do, it's because you're working really hard. It was such a big change because in high school, I did have really strict parents, even though I love them very much. I always wanted to be involved, and I was never allowed to go anywhere. It was school and home, school and home. So when I came here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to do everything that I can. And I joined student government, and it's been the best decision I ever made. I also created the Pre-Medical and Health Professions Club that just started on campus. And I just try to talk to students, do your homework. Responsibilities are hard, but it's going to be worth it, and you're going to be happy when you achieve your goals.
Thank you.
Okay, so coming where I come from, when growing up, there was never really much expectations for me. In fact, I'm pretty sure it felt like I was a black sheep of my family, even though I'm sure I wasn't, because a lot of my siblings had made mistakes as well. But feeling alone and just coming where I'm sure most of you as well can relate, you don't really have any responsibilities because you're used to failing. You're used to starting but never finishing, and it just becomes a habit. And then we tell ourselves that we're just not good enough, and we don't have the potential, and we don't have what it takes because we listen to what other people have to say about you. And to be honest, we're our harshest critics. So when it came to responsibilities, I always told myself, I can't do this. There's no way that I can do this. I tried being in soccer and high school, and I tried doing school, and I was failing all my grades. So when I joined student government, I'm like, there's no freaking way that I can do this. It's out of the ballpark. But when you have people that believe in you, and you really stick to those people, and you hear what they have to say, you have to believe them a little bit more than you believe in yourself. until you start believing in yourself more. And I think that's what it came down to, and it just comes down to, I have to do what I have to do because I want it so bad. You realize that, you have people starting to look up to you, and then you're like, okay, I have to make it. I have no other choice but to make it. So those responsibilities become very special to you, and you take them in more than you were in high school, because in high school, you can start something and not finish it. There's not really much consequences to it. But that all changes when you come to a junior college or to a university or to, any UC whatsoever. So honestly, I think that for me, when I started being able to handle my responsibilities, I was like, whoa, okay. Like, it was a rocky boat in the beginning. But then I started realizing you're never going to get better at anything if you don't start. If you're always afraid of those responsibilities, you're just going to be paralyzed in fear. Then where are you going to go? So that's when I decided to take on my responsibilities and say, I'm going to go all in because I really want this.
That's a great story that we're listening today. Let me share something from my perspective. My two daughters, Joanna and Jennifer. Joanna, she already graduated from FIU, Florida International University, many years ago. My other daughter, Jennifer, she also graduated, and now she has a master's degree in business. And thank you very much. Thank you to Joanna and Jennifer for making a very proud daddy. When they finished high school, I asked them, how do you feel now going from high school to the college or to university? And both say, I'm afraid because there's a new challenge. I don't know what's going to happen in my college career. So they were really afraid. They didn't know what to expect in college or university. But that day, I remember that day, I took them to the FIU, Florida International University. We went to the admission office and asked all the information about how to get to college, etc., etc. So finally, they made me really a proud daddy. That's why today I want to thank you guys, all the parents, todos los padres que están acá. De verdad, gracias por haber venido esta mañana tan fría para apoyar a sus padres. Yo también estuve ahí junto con ustedes. Estuve ahí junto con mis hijos para que ellos fueran educadas. Una de ellas ya terminó la universidad y la otra, como le digo, tiene un master degree. Y escuchándolas a ellas, a Cindy, a Alexis, a Janet, a Erika, son las historias que nos inspiran, que nos enseñan. I have another question for you guys, starting con Cindy. Cindy, what is the biggest challenge to being a college student?
I think the biggest challenge is the lifestyle change. For me, it was a lifestyle change because, like I mentioned before, I was used to failing and I was used to being okay with it. And I think in high school, when we fail, like I said before, there's not really any consequences, and it's just like, And unfortunately, in the school systems, we don't have a lot of teachers and professors. There are a great amount of them, and a round of applause for all the teachers that really do have a passion for all of you guys being out there, okay? Because honestly, they put a lot of hard work into you guys, and I know that it's hard being a high school teacher, let me tell you, I know that it's hard. So they are amazing, and I know that those passionate teachers that actually really take the time, to bring y'all here on a Saturday, that takes a lot of work, and they should definitely be appreciated for that, because they know that education can change your guys' life around. Because I know that my life changed here in this institution, and it can change for all of you guys as well, and they know that. So I believe that the biggest challenge for me was believing in myself. And I think that we all have a little front, because in high school, you pretend like everything's okay. In reality, you know that it's not. And it's just, we're used to putting that front up. And for me, that's what it was. I liked to pretend, have a smile on my face, like everything was A-okay, but in reality, it wasn't. And I was used to failure, and I was used to not studying. I was used to not doing my homework. I was used to just not being interested because of all the things that are going on at home, and I know I'm not the only one, and these ladies as well, they all relate to me as well. So I know that many of you guys have your own individual stories as well, but you know, I'm here to tell you guys, we're all here to tell you guys, you know, that every single one of you guys have a hard story, have hardships and, you know, struggles, but at the end of the day, the only key that's going to get you out of all of those struggles is education. And when I realized that, I was like, I gotta get out of here. And no matter how late I had to study, even if it was to 2 in the morning, you know, because we all have those classes like statistics that I'm no math person, you know, and it's scary. And it's scary to show that vulnerability to a fear that you have, because fear of failure is literally what paralyzes us from succeeding. But I realized you can't be successful until you fail. So why are we all so afraid of failure? Because it's just part of society. Society likes to hide all the failures, but show off all the success stories, right? But behind every success story, there's many failures that came before that. And I think that we need to implement that more so you guys won't be afraid to start at this institution, because it's okay to fail. And I think that many of you have that mindset of like, I'm not gonna make it, so why bother going? When that's ridiculous. And I know that's where I came from. And that's why I literally took a whole entire year before I came here to Modesto Junior College, because I was so afraid of failing. And my anxiety was just telling me, you're never gonna make it, you're just gonna be a statistic, why even bother? When in reality, I knew by the end of that year, when I couldn't get any jobs and I didn't want to be in the cannery work, because we all have this opportunity to have education, something my parents couldn't get. My siblings who once didn't have their papers didn't have the opportunity to get. So why am I going to throw that away? So even though I have these challenges like procrastination, which I know we all have procrastination, but at the end of the day, when we get the work done, you know, it's just sacrifices that we have to make.
Thank you. Same question for you. What is the biggest challenge to being a college student?
So the biggest challenge for me was believing that the sacrifices were going to be all worth it, because there's just so many things. For example, you know, I also work part-time, so that was always really hard because I wanted to study more, and then you just have to balance everything. And that was really hard, the lifestyle, because in high school, it's just different. I don't know how to explain it, but there's always so much. And I believe probably the more involved you are, but I would encourage all of you to get involved, because there's so many things that you can get involved in that are for your passions. And that was so hard, the lifestyle change. You know, I stay with Cindy, sometimes we study till like, they kicked us out of school last time, like at 11, and I'm like, oh my God, the school has been closed, you know, for a while. Or we go to Stanislaus and stay there, and sometimes mom, she's like, are you sure you're studying? I'm like, yes, I am, I promise. But that's been really hard, but it's all gonna be worth it. And something that I always tell myself is that I used to believe that that maybe I wasn't that smart. And there's no such thing as someone who is not smart. It's how much work you put into it. And that's what I love so far about college, that the people that you think, oh, they're so smart, I can never be like them, it's not because they're just naturally so smart, it's because they put a lot of work into it behind the scenes. And you can do that too. So really, you can achieve anything that you want. And I know that it seems cliche because everyone says that, but you really, really could. It's just how much do you want to sacrifice?
I think that one of the hardest parts about going to college is the fear of the unknown. You know, sometimes you come in and even if you have an idea of what you want to do, you don't actually know what you want to do. You've never studied the field, or maybe you think you like it, but you're going to change it like 5 times. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's a stigma that there's something wrong when you change your major so many times, you're staying an extra year in school or whatever it might be. And, you know, that fear of not really knowing sometimes keeps people away from college. Sometimes they say, I don't know what I would do, so why even go? Why don't I just go work here, where I know I'm good at it, right? But the thing is, not going to college, it stops you from a lot of things. And so the hardest part about being in college is figuring out what you want to do. And sometimes it's not what you expected. I think for my mom, she wanted to be a lawyer, and now she's a teacher teaching special ed students, and she's in love with it. It's just like these little things that you end up loving and where your passion takes you, and you're going to be so happy when you let it take you. And so I think that's the hardest part, is just not knowing and then figuring it out. Because everyone around you honestly doesn't really know what they're doing either. So you don't have to fear it. You can be open about it, and whoever's around you is going to help you figure it out.
So the hardest part of being a college student is when you first come to school here. You're scared, you feel alone, you're lost, but you have so many programs here and so many people willing to help, but you have to have the courage to reach out, get involved, like everybody says, and you eventually find your path to get to where you need. But you also got to know that you got to sacrifice, you got to be dedicated, you got to discipline yourself to make this happen. And there's going to be times where you fail, several times where you fail, but it's what you do after you fail. It's getting up, going after it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it or bring you down or use excuses. The main thing people don't finish school is because they have excuses. And don't allow that to be you. Always strive for better. Reach your goal. Be proud, because once you do, it is an amazing feeling, and you deserve that.
I think the hardest is to actually sit down and do what you're supposed to do. I mean, all of us will say, I'm going to study this time, from this time to this time, and do this, and this, but then we never get around to doing it. I think that was the hardest change for me, that I could plan out the whole year, my whole week, every single second, down to the last minute, and then I'll still never do it, So it's kind of just using my time efficiently, learning how to actually do what I'm saying that I'm gonna do, and just following and staying true to my word, and just following through with that. Like how Alexis said, you're gonna change your majors a lot, so don't let that scare you. Don't let your fears scare you. I mean, I've been enrolled at MJC for not even a full year as a full-time student, and I've changed it 4 times. Twice in the last month, I think. It's not something that you should be scared of. You're still trying to discover yourself, whether it's at a 4-year college or MJC. You're discovering who you are. You're discovering your interests, and it's not something you should be ashamed of. You're still discovering yourself. Everyone else is too. You're not alone in it, and I mean, you should get involved, because if you don't, then you're missing out on half the journey. Getting involved in student government was one of the best things that I did. I got to meet all of these people, and they're my closest friends, and it's great to have this opportunity to share it with these people. So definitely get involved and just stay true to your words, get stuff done.
Excellent. Very nice. My biggest challenge when I went to college, of course, was my English. English is my second language. That was my biggest challenge when I went to Miami-Dade College in Miami. But also, I was thinking, how am I going to pass the algebra, statistics? No way. But I made it. So that was my biggest challenge when I went to college. There are many, thank you. There are many high school students here tonight, or today, this morning. So I have another question for you, ladies. What special message would you like to share with the high school students that are here today? Listen.
My message to you guys is honestly just follow what you want to do. Don't let anything stop you, whether it's like finances or just you struggling with yourself. Sometimes we have a lot of self-doubt and we think we can't do certain things, and you have to look past that. You have to push through that, because you can do whatever you set your mind to. You can find a way to succeed. There's nothing that can really stop you except yourself. So you have to look beyond that. Don't let money stop you. There's so many aids that we have in this world. You know, you have financial aid. If you don't have that, you have scholarships. There's so many things that you can do. We have so many people on all campuses that are there specifically to help you succeed in college, succeed and achieve your dreams. So don't let anything stop you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My message to you guys would be don't give up. Don't stop at high school. Keep going. Find, your passion. You're not going to know as soon as you go into high school or to college, but you will find it. And just become successful. And when, you fail and you want to give up, don't do it. Just keep going. You will eventually reach it, whether it's later or it's now. And if you guys ever do come to MJC and you choose to be here, you have a lot of support. And if you ever feel lost, make sure to come to the student government office, and they're always willing to help. They'll never turn you away. So just don't give up. Strive for more. Don't settle for less.
Thank you.
I think my message would be to love everything that you do. And that doesn't just mean, the homework that you do and everything. It means, if you're working at McDonald's, love what you do. Why? Because when you're doing that, you're building something there. You're building patience, you're building character, you're building your relationships. No matter what you do, as long as you're doing something that's going to help you in some way, because you can find in everything that you do, you're doing something, right? When I'm helping people and I'm cashiering, I'm working on patience. I'm working on how happy I am, just being actually happy in the moment. When I'm doing homework, even though it kind of sucks sometimes, I'm like, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to get over my procrastination and finish this. As long as you're building yourself, you should love everything that you do. And that's including all of the things that you've done wrong and all of your successes. Because we have a habit of only wanting to talk about the good things that we do. But the minute that you start observing, like, what, I've done this wrong, I've done that wrong, and self-reflecting, you really start to learn about yourself, about who you are, and where you need to be and how you're going to get there.
My message would say, I know it all sounds really cliche, but really to just be yourself, because I think in high school especially, there's so much social pressure, and when you get to college, here I would say people just really, they don't care, they want you to be yourself. That's how you build friendships, and that's the best thing to do. And also, there's this quote that I love, and I always tell people, they're probably so annoyed, but a smooth sea made a skilled sailor. I love that so much, because it means that all your struggles, when you go through something and when you're going through your ups and downs, when you finally succeed, it's going to be way more than, yay, I did it. It's going to be a reflection of everything you had to do to get there, and you're going to appreciate it so much more than that.
My message would probably be to you guys is believe in yourselves. And to every single person that's out in the crowd,